On the day of Leo's welcome party, Ethan Taylor ignored everyone's gaze and carried his female assistant away. Seeing my out-of-shape figure, his face was filled with disgust. He then turned to Chloe Miller and whispered intimately in her ear, "Chloe, I wouldn't like it if you became like this." Watching them leave, I politely saw my friends off. That night, I quietly put Leo Hayes to sleep. Closing the door, I made a call, "Sarah, get the documents ready for going home. It's time to leave." Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. Audrey, you've finally come to your senses. Don't worry about Leo. I've already found you the best nanny. The woman on the other end of the phone was delighted and ended up chatting with me for a while longer. Audrey, we're waiting for you. Okay. Right after I hung up, Ethan Taylor opened the door, looking exhausted. Waiting for what? Ethan Taylor looked at me curiously, then tossed me his jacket, heavy with perfume. I took the jacket and hung it up casually. Nothing, just a friends gathering in a couple of days. The man carelessly walked past me, looking at the sleeping baby. As he was about to kiss the baby's chubby little hand, I stopped him. Despicable. Wash your hands first. It was the man before me who was despicable, and I didn't want him anymore. Ethan Taylor rolled his eyes at me and, knowing his place, walked into the bathroom. Faint laughter from a woman and a man could be heard from the bathroom. The woman's voice was full of gratitude. "Ethan, I was struggling to find a model. Thank you." The man's voice was low. "Not everyone can paint the man in the shower painting. Have you thought about how you'll compensate me?" Then came the woman's bell-like laughter. "Ethan, you're so naughty." Listening to them, I felt a wave of nausea. I called my lawyer and went over the divorce proceedings. Closing the bedroom door, I quietly slipped into bed next to Leo. Since Leo Hayes was born, Ethan Taylor had always slept in the guest room. During my pregnancy, he said he worried about disturbing my rest and voluntarily moved to the guest room. Back then, he would even sneak into my room at midnight to cover me with a blanket. After Leo was born, he claimed the baby's crying disturbed his sleep and simply turned the guest room into his permanent bedroom. I hired a nanny, thinking it would make things easier. We could have time alone as a couple. Ethan Taylor immediately refused. "Audrey Hayes, you're not working. Can't you handle Leo by yourself? Besides, can you really trust nannies? Haven't you heard enough news about them abusing children? You're getting dumber by the day." Because of this, I alone bore all the responsibilities of caring for Leo, changing diapers, bathing him, putting him to sleep, feeding him formula. He was only responsible for returning late at night to kiss Leo. Day after day, Leo and Ethan Taylor became my entire life. I became a stay-at-home mom in his eyes. He became an art patron in everyone's eyes. Ethan Taylor finished his shower at 5 in the morning. He walked to my bed and pulled me up. "Audrey Hayes, I've caught a bit of a cold. Go out and buy some medicine." I groggily mumbled, 3 hours later, I was woken by a notification on my phone. It was from Chloe Miller, a photo of Ethan Taylor busy in the kitchen, wearing an apron. A minute later, Chloe Miller posted a social media post. "The model boss's repayment." After seeing that I liked it, she explained to me in an exceedingly sweet voice, "Audrey, please don't misunderstand. I accidentally injured my hand while painting late at night, and my boss came to see me because he was worried about potential issues with the art exhibition 5 days from now. After all, I'm the gallery's star artist now. If anything goes wrong, it would affect my boss's earnings." I sneered. If Ethan Taylor was such a capable boss, his company would have gone public long ago. "Chloe, you really should be careful, or it might heal too quickly, and that wouldn't be good. And thank you for working so hard to earn formula money for my baby." With that, I smiled contentedly. Ethan Taylor didn't come home all night. He stumbled through the door only at dawn the next day. Chloe Miller was with him. Ethan Taylor leaned against her without any hesitation. Seeing me walking around the living room, Chloe couldn't help but let out a shriek. "Ethan, I'm scared." Ethan Taylor held her protectively. The next second, I switched on the light. Ethan Taylor quickly shielded Chloe Miller behind him. "Audrey Hayes, what are you playing at in the middle of the night?" Chloe Miller looked at my haggard appearance and couldn't help but step forward to show off. "Audrey, don't you think my dress is really pretty today?" Chloe Miller was beautiful, and the red dress made her look particularly brilliant. Seeing that I didn't answer, she stepped forward and grabbed my hand. "Audrey, next time I'll take you shopping. If we dress up beautifully for Ethan, he'll definitely like it." I shook her off. "Chloe, I don't like making a display of myself." Chloe Miller lowered her head, tears welling up in her eyes. "Ethan, Audrey doesn't like me. I should just go. You don't need to see me out, Ethan." Otherwise, Audrey will get upset again. Ethan Taylor pulled Chloe Miller back with a grab. I'll take you. It's not safe for you to be alone this late, and it will give Audrey Hayes a good chance to reflect. The large room instantly plunged into darkness again. I knew this was Ethan Taylor's way to punish me. Every time I displeased him, he would make me reflect. Until I admitted my mistakes and satisfied him. Before, I tirelessly coddled him. Now I was tired, weary, and couldn't be bothered to coddle him anymore. I found my way back using the faint light from the bedroom. During that time, Han Taylor seemed to vanish. He paid no attention to Leo or me. I saw him again 3 days later. Ethan Taylor still didn't come home until dawn. At that time, I was busy washing Leo's baby bottles in the kitchen. Just as I was about to turn around, I saw Ethan Taylor, reeking of alcohol. He stepped forward and embraced me. Honey, did you miss me? Honey, why haven't you admitted your mistake? Ethan Taylor's embrace was warm. And I had fallen for it time and again. Ethan Taylor and I had dated for 5 years and been married for 2. When we were in a long-distance relationship, if I was ever upset on the phone, he would travel thousands of miles to be by my side and hold me. Honey, I'll always be there, no matter what. Ethan Taylor kept that promise until before our marriage. But Chloe Miller's appearance changed everything. He didn't show up even when I cried from pregnancy anxiety, was hospitalized from morning sickness, or underwent surgery for a difficult labor. Gradually, I had grown accustomed to life without Ethan Taylor's warmth. And then it evolved into a point where I didn't need Ethan Taylor anymore. I pushed him away. Ethan Taylor, the smell of alcohol will bother Leo. Ethan Taylor understood. Wife, I'll go clean myself up right away. Watching Ethan Taylor's eager expression, I felt an overwhelming sense of disgust. For the past 2 years, Ethan Taylor had always returned home late. His unvarying excuse was always work engagements. His outwardly innocent demeanor made me constantly worry if he was suppressing some hidden vice. Until his clothes always carried the scent of the same women's perfume. Until I, week after childbirth, picked up my phone and saw the pictures. Until Chloe Miller was overtly audacious and fearless. Only then did I confirm that Ethan Taylor was cheating. Now, his words of affection were like a blunt knife cutting into my heart. It couldn't kill quickly, but it slowly eroded one's love. What he didn't know, however, was that I don't love him anymore. Ethan Taylor took a long shower. When he came out, I was putting Leo Hayes to sleep. He looked at my bloated figure with utter mockery. Audrey Hayes, do you have time to get some postpartum recovery treatments? Even if you stripped naked in front of me looking like that, I wouldn't be interested. I gently covered Leo's ears with my hand. Ethan Taylor, I see you're quite interested in Chloe Miller. Ethan Taylor desperately tried to conceal his flustered gaze. Audrey Hayes, I think you're confused from taking care of Leo. After you retired from the art scene, the gallery's business relies entirely on Chloe Miller. Aren't I being good to her for your sake, so you and Leo can have a good life? You're truly overestimating yourself. Can you even hold a paintbrush anymore? Staying home and taking care of Leo is your job. What a buzzkill. Seeing my silence, he seemed to have won a battle. Ethan Taylor slammed the door shut and went to the guest room. Ethan Taylor's ways to belittle me were always one of 2 things. One was to make me feel worthless. The other was to mock me for not being able to paint. Only by doing this could he appear superior. But I was once brilliant, he just extinguished my light. Ethan Taylor's career was supported by the initial capital from my painting sales. Now, all I got in return was his mockery and belittling. But how could I not care? That was a career I had worked hard for 30 years. A wave of darkness enveloped me. I frantically opened the drawer, searching for my antidepressants. The moment I swallowed them, I realized my depression worsened. The next morning, I prepared breakfast for him as usual. Ethan Taylor didn't even glance at it, casually tossing it into the trash can. His cold gaze pierced through me like countless shards of ice. Audrey Hayes, do you really eat such unnutritious food? No wonder my son couldn't drink breast milk. If he has poor health later, you'll be primarily responsible. I had long grown used to his baseless accusations, like when he used to say, Audrey Hayes, what about my son in your womb if you don't eat? Audrey Hayes, you're so thin, my son certainly won't get enough nutrition. Audrey Hayes, it's all your fault for eating so little that my son was only 9 pounds. In his eyes, I seemed to be nothing more than a baby-making machine. I hadn't received the care a wife deserved, nor the respect a mother should have. I had also tried to argue logically, but each time I only met with his indifference. Now, I had even lost the strength to explain myself. I didn't want to argue with him in front of Leo. Understood. Ethan Taylor's brows relaxed when he heard my submissive reply. That's a good girl, isn't it? Wife, do you have a friend who's a therapist? Could you introduce me to them? Chloe Miller has been feeling down these past 2 days, and I need to take her to see someone. Or what about the art exhibition? I don't know when it started, but Ethan Taylor's eyes only saw the gallery. He and I weren't short on money. I had achieved financial independence long before I retired from the art scene. But every time Ethan Taylor was kind to Chloe Miller, his excuse was always just about business. I no longer cared to question the truth, because whether he loved me or not was already a settled matter. Okay. I picked up my phone and recommended my therapist to him. When I couldn't produce a satisfactory piece of art, Ethan Taylor used to encourage me daily. He had walked with me through the most difficult days of my art career. Only now, he was going to accompany someone else. Ethan Taylor's attitude softened. Audrey Hayes, I have some time this morning. I'll take you and Leo out for a walk. This was the first time Ethan Taylor had ever offered to take me out. Before, he said it wasn't safe for me to go out while pregnant, and then he said Leo was too young to go out. Thinking I would be leaving soon, it might be good for Leo to feel his father's warmth. I didn't refuse and stood up to pack my bags. Ethan Taylor was putting things into the bag one by one when Chloe Miller's call interrupted him. Ethan, am I useless? Why can't I paint well? Ethan, please come and keep me company, okay? Ethan Taylor looked troubled. Just as he was about to say something, I spoke first. Ethan Taylor, please don't go. Chloe Miller heard my voice and burst into tears. Ethan, am I bothering you and Audrey? I'm so awful. I'm sorry, Audrey, I didn't mean to. I really can't paint anymore. If it affects the art exhibition, it's all my fault. Please don't blame Ethan. Ethan Taylor didn't answer me, turning to gently comfort Chloe. I held Leo Hayes and waited a long time before he reluctantly hung up the phone. Audrey Hayes, let's go another day. Chloe Miller sprained her ankle, and I'm worried about her, so I need to go see her. Ethan Taylor wasn't consulting me, he was commanding me. After saying that, he rushed out the door. I was just about to put down my bags and belongings when Sarah called me. Audrey, the nanny is already downstairs, and you have an appointment with the therapist this afternoon, right? Mrs. Jenkins had rich parenting experience and was bilingual, which made me feel very much at ease. I handed Leo Hayes over to her, got myself dressed up, and left the house. The spring sunlight warmly enveloped me. The darkness in my heart gradually dispersed. I encountered Ethan Taylor at the hospital entrance. He carefully supported Chloe Miller and eventually carried her. Chloe Miller looked shy. The moment she saw me, she didn't forget to playfully hit the man in front of her. Ethan, honestly, I told you I could walk. Audrey, please don't be angry. I'll talk to Ethan later. Ethan is so thoughtless, he has no sense of boundaries. Ethan Taylor's brows furrowed slightly when he saw me at the hospital. Audrey Hayes, what's wrong? Why? THU? Where's Leo? I smiled. Nothing. Just visiting a friend. Leo is upstairs, I'll be right there. Ethan Taylor carefully carried Chloe Miller into the car before turning to speak to me. Noticing my carefully dressed up appearance, he couldn't help but scold me. Didn't I tell you? Leo is still little, you shouldn't wear makeup. And what are you wearing? You're a mother now, you shouldn't dress like that. I lowered my head and replied softly. Understood. Looking at my innocent look, Ethan Taylor, for once, patted my head. Audrey Hayes, I'll take Chloe Miller home first. I'll pick you up for the art exhibition tonight. At that moment, I was certain Ethan Taylor had mistaken me for Chloe Miller. I pushed him away, said a cold, okay, and ran upstairs. 2 hours later, I walked out of the hospital, watching the plane flying across the sky. It's time to leave. I returned home while Leo Hayes was sleeping. Mrs. Jenkins was responsible for packing Leo's belongings. As for me, I sorted through the paintings in the studio. To me, they were the most important. Ethan Taylor and I hadn't taken wedding photos. 2 years ago, when we got married, we were both too busy. He was busy organizing Chloe Miller's art exhibition. I was busy retiring from the art scene. It was only because Ethan Taylor didn't want me to spend too much of my love for him on painting that I agreed to his demand that I quit. After that came pregnancy and childbirth. My paintbrushes were left in the corner, and the wedding photo I had painted myself was already covered in dust. Looking at Leo sleeping in his stroller, I couldn't help but shed tears. I'm sorry, my baby. Mom was blind to have found you such a father. From now on, I will take good care of you. I tried my best to control my emotions. Seeing Leo smile in his sleep, I gently wiped away tears and composed myself. Since I was leaving, I had to return anything that belonged to Ethan Taylor. I tore the painting I had worked on or a month into two halves. One half became fragments, the other remained where it was. Looking at the home we had slowly built together, it no longer felt like a family. At this moment, Ethan Taylor only wanted to be with Chloe Miller. For hours later, Mrs. Jenkins and I boarded the plane back home with Leo. My phone kept vibrating, but I couldn't be bothered to answer. Figuring the timing, the gift I sent Ethan Taylor would also arrive soon. Just before the plane took off, I opened my messaging app chat with Ethan Taylor. Ethan Taylor, let's get a divorce. Then I blocked all his and Chloe Miller's contact information. The long flight finally landed in Northwood, bathed in the morning sun. As I pushed my piles of luggage through the exit, I saw my family, who were eagerly waiting. Mom rushed to greet me. Sweetie, let Mom see if you've lost weight. I kept wiping away tears for her as I brought Leo Hayes to her. Mom, your sweetie is right here. Mom gently squeezed Leo's sleeping face, then looked at me with concern. Your mom, sweetie. You'll always be Mom and Dad's little darling. Dad took my bags and belongings and draped his jacket over me. My dear daughter, you just had Leo, you've worked so hard. You just need to rest and recuperate, and leave everything else to Dad. Seeing Dad always made it impossible for me to be strong. I hugged him and immediately burst into tears. Dad had already guessed what happened, and he patted my back to comfort me, just like when I was a child. Sweetie, don't cry. Mom and Dad are here. I kept nodding. When I got home, Sarah had already prepared a lavish breakfast. Audrey, you must be hungry. Look, these are all your favorites. After eating my fill, before I even got to hold Leo, my parents forced me upstairs to rest. They said I hadn't rested properly after childbirth and insisted I rest and recuperate. Belated peace overcame me with sleepiness. As dusk fell, Sarah urgently knocked on the door. In th. E-video, Ethan Taylor smashed the gift box directly onto Chloe Miller's new painting. What was presented to everyone was a wedding photo missing one person and a divorce settlement agreement. Audrey Hayes, who allowed you to file for divorce? Audrey Hayes, get out here. Chloe Miller, who was nearby, stepped forward to comfort him but was pushed to the ground. Everyone gathered around, talking over each other. Audrey Hayes? Is that the prodigy artist who retired from the art scene? I wonder if this half painting is for sale. What a shame she married to such a man. It seems even powerful figures can be easily swayed by love. Exactly. I heard Mr. Taylor wasn't good to her, fooling around with Chloe Miller every day. It seems she was driven away by anger. Chloe Miller was lashing out in front of everyone, like a cat with its fur bristling. A bunch of unsophisticated people. If you don't understand art, don't spout nonsense. Audrey Hayes is past her prime. I'm the best. Chloe Miller was pulled away by the staff, and the scene instantly turned chaotic, bringing the art exhibition to an end. Back home, Ethan Taylor shouted my name repeatedly. All he got in return was silence. Seeing the clothes I hadn't taken from the closet, a hint of joy appeared on his face. But what he didn't know was that I simply found the clothes he bought me too ugly to take. Ethan Taylor stared blankly at the portrait, then suddenly rushed into the studio. Nothing was left inside. He stopped dead in his tracks, trembling all over. Audrey Hayes, I'm here to pick you and Leo up for the art exhibition. Audrey Hayes, please come out. You and Leo are my everything. I can't lose you. Just come out, and I'll hire a nanny for you. I'll let you paint, okay? Ethan Taylor's voice grew softer and softer, because he no longer had the courage to continue. These were all the things he had once forbidden me to do. Even if I stood before him now, he still wouldn't agree. Adults always go back on their word. Ethan Taylor was no exception. When he saw the keys I had left behind, he finally realized I had truly left. Just as he was about to leave to look for Leo and me, Chloe Miller called him. Ethan, my stomach hurts so much. Can you come see me? Ethan Taylor refused her for the first time. If your stomach hurts, go to the hospital. Don't bother me. Chloe Miller still didn't give up. Ethan, it's all my fault. Should I just die? Ethan Taylor was silent for a moment, then crushed Leo Hayes's toy. Don't move. Sweetie, wait for me. Ethan Taylor stayed with Chloe Miller all night. The next day, he met my therapist. Dr. Evans was already very familiar with Ethan Taylor's name. Mr. Taylor, has Ms. Hayes's depression worsened? Mr. Taylor, please take me to see her. It's very dangerous for her to be alone with Leo right now. Ethan Taylor slumped to the ground. Audrey Hayes? How could she have depression? Chloe Miller carefully held Ethan Taylor's hand. Exactly. How can Audrey Hayes have depression? That would be too dangerous for our little darling Leo. Ethan, let's bring Leo back. What if Audrey Hayes goes crazy and hurts the child? Ethan Taylor ignored her, muttering to himself. Why didn't I notice? Why? How could Ethan Taylor have noticed? After we got married, he never cared about my feelings. When I told him I was unhappy, he scolded me for being overly sensitive. The more disappointments I accumulated, the deeper I buried my emotions in my heart. Dr. Evans looked surprised. Mr. Taylor, you're so irresponsible. Ms. Hayes's postpartum depression requires someone to constantly be by her side. It's not too late to realize this now. Go home quickly. Ethan Taylor remained motionless. Because he knew, it was too late. But he didn't give up looking for me, nor would he sign the divorce papers. Ethan Taylor used all his international resources but couldn't find me. I rested at home for 3 months. During that time, I picked up her paintbrush again. I underwent postpartum recovery. I signed up for yoga classes. My weight returned to normal, and my figure was slowly improving. My studio gradually took shape. On my birthday, I even received a teaching offer from the Metropolitan Art Institute. 2 years ago, I gave up the opportunity to go back home to teach because of Ethan Taylor. 2 years later, by fate, it returned to me. I particularly cherished this blessing from above. I wished I could share all 30 years of my artistic insights with my students. With the care of my parents and friends, I became happier and happier. Until I met Ethan Taylor again. Ethan Taylor, standing at the classroom door, lowered his head in shame as he saw my spirited demeanor. After class, he blocked my path, but was mocked by students. Professor Hayes, do you like this kind of sir? Hey, sir, there are plenty of guys chasing Professor Hayes. If you want to pursue her too, get in line. Ethan Taylor's face was extremely sour. Before he got angry, I stopped the students' teasing. After all, this was a school, and I didn't want our divorce to become known to everyone. Dad taught me that even if we don't love each other, we should leave with dignity. Ethan Taylor took me to a cafe. He asked me gently, Audrey Hayes, why did you disappear without a reason? You'd better give me a reasonable explanation. I looked into his dim eyes, feeling rational and clear-headed. Ethan Taylor, is I want to divorce you reason enough? You know I don't like waiting too long. Once the divorce settlement agreement is signed, remember to contact your lawyer. Ethan Taylor sneered, Audrey Hayes, I haven't agreed. We still have a long way to go. Are you leaving me over such a small setback? It's just depression, isn't it? You'll be fine once you cheer up. Ethan Taylor was still unwilling to admit his mistakes. But I didn't want to waste time with him. Ethan Taylor, if you're unwilling, there's nothing more to discuss. I'll file for divorce. The man took a sip of coffee, showing no emotion on his face. Audrey Hayes, can you bear it? Can you bear Leo not having a father? I've never done anything to wrong you. Why have you condemned me? I wondered if Ethan Taylor thought I was stupid to say such things. In a daze, the coffee in my cup spilled. Ethan Taylor, seeing this, thought he was about to convince me. Audrey Hayes, your paintings are no longer wanted. Chloe Miller is the gallery's star artist. You should face the facts. Ethan Taylor would never change his ways. He would never allow his partner to be superior to him, so he always tried to make me admit this fact. I wiped the coffee stain from my hand, smiling brilliantly. Ethan Taylor, I know my own capabilities. You don't need to use ways to belittle me to highlight your own excellence. I've always been fine. It was your inadequacy that made me misunderstand myself. Also, you personally promised me when we got married that Leo would have my surname. After the divorce, he'll just be my child alone. We don't need you. Seeing that the discussion was about to fall apart, Ethan Taylor motioned for the waiter to bring me a burger. Audrey, didn't you always want to eat this junk food? Look how thin you are now. Come on, eat more. If you want it in the future, I'll bring it home for you every day. I laughed, exasperated by him. Future? Ethan Taylor, do you have trouble understanding? There is no future for us. Hearing my continuous refusals, Ethan Taylor finally compromised. Alright, I promise you. I'll hire a nanny for you, and I'll let you paint, okay? As long as you come back, I'll agree to all of this. I tilted my head, watching the rain patter outside the window. I answered casually, no. Just as Ethan Taylor was at a loss, the woman by the window was smiling beautifully. Chloe Miller skipped over to us. Ethan, where have you been? I'm so tired from looking for you. Then, without hesitation, she picked up Ethan Taylor's coffee and started drinking it. Oh, Audrey, you don't mind, do you? But I heard you went missing and were going to divorce Ethan. Have you realized your mistake now? Are you trying to get back together? Audrey, it's too late. Ethan has plenty of women around him. You'll regret it. Chloe Miller and Ethan Taylor were truly a match, even their tactics to belittle people were identical. Chloe Miller, I think he only has one fly around him, and that's you. Chloe Miller was speechless for my retort and looked pitifully at the man beside her. Ethan, does a woman like this look like she has depression? It's just a tactic to gain sympathy. Don't let her lie to him. This time, Ethan Taylor did not favor her. Instead, a serious look made her shut up. He grabbed my hand. Audrey, are you filing for divorce because of Chloe Miller? You misunderstood. She and I just have a business relationship. We're mutually beneficial. Didn't you notice how much she resembles you when you were younger? A prodigy artist is bound to be adored. Yes, I was also famous at a young age. Ethan Taylor and I also went through thick and thin together. We even discussed creative inspiration through the night. But back then, Ethan Taylor only saw me as a tool for making money. When I said my hand was injured, he threw me a band-aid. Audrey Hayes, the client is waiting, don't waste time. When I said I was so sleepy, he made me the strongest coffee. Audrey Hayes, just hold on a little longer. After this month, I'll take you to Iceland. He was caring and doting towards Chloe Miller. I no longer cared about Ethan Taylor's explanations. I don't care what your relationship with her is. I only care about when you'll file for divorce, Ethan Taylor. I don't care if it's Chloe Miller or not. Even if it weren't her, you wouldn't love me anymore, would you? Guilt appeared on Ethan Taylor's face. Aud. Ray, I was wrong. Can we go back to how things were? It was clear as day to him that he hadn't loved me since I chose to marry him and have a child. He only loved the shadow of someone diligently painting. He personally destroyed her, and now he wants to find her again. How ridiculous. That's all I have to say. I stood up. No. Ethan Taylor tried to grab me, but Chloe Miller blocked his path. Ethan, Professor Harrison is waiting for us. Don't waste time on someone irrelevant and jeopardize your future. Ethan Taylor's decision to go back home was due to business problems. After I returned, I had Sarah bring back all the resources. Coupled with the debacle at the art exhibition, his gallery suffered heavy losses. Since I was an irrelevant person, I naturally had to take what belonged to me. Ethan Taylor left, and my life returned to peace. Leo Hayes was raised plump and healthy by mom and dad. My parents were happily busy every day. I didn't mention Ethan Taylor to them. My parents, being sensible, didn't ask. Because for them, my happiness was the most important thing. A little over a week later, my lawyer called me. Ms. Hayes, Mr. Taylor has signed the divorce papers. I happily thanked him profusely. Finally, Ethan Taylor and I were going to go our separate ways. The school arranged a job for me, restoring antique paintings. I worked day and night with my senior colleagues to restore antique paintings. It was during everyone's casual conversation that I learned why Ethan Taylor agreed to the divorce. Professor Harrison was Chloe Miller's grandfather. For his granddaughter's happiness, he stooped to help Ethan Taylor. As a token of gratitude, Ethan Taylor had to marry Chloe Miller. For his career, Ethan Taylor held a grand engagement ceremony abroad with Chloe Miller. The ceremony was today, and I was listening with great interest. An unknown number sent me a text message. Audrey, divorce can be followed by remarriage. Wait for me. In Ethan Taylor's M. I would always wait for him. When we were in school, he always overslept, so I would buy breakfast and wait for him at the corner of the building. After graduation, when he chose to start his own business, I wished I could paint 24 hours a day to support him, waiting for him to succeed and marry me. Even after we were married, I would always leave a light on for him, waiting for him to come home. Now, he and I had no connection whatsoever. I deleted the message, treating it as spam. A month later, the antique painting restoration work still hadn't made a breakthrough. Upon learning that another work by the artist would be at an overseas auction the next day, I immediately bought a plane ticket and flew there. I rushed and just barely made it. As I rushed into the venue, Chloe Miller was holding Ethan Taylor's arm, looking angry. Ethan Taylor, I must bid on this painting. Grandpa is turning 80 soon, and he'll be so happy if I give this to him. Ethan Taylor's face was ashen. Chloe, stop making a fuss. We're here to bid on a different painting. Chloe Miller was about to say something when she saw me. Audrey Hayes? How did you get into such a high-class place as an auction? Did you cozy up to an old man? She looked me up and down, triumph in her eyes. Audrey Hayes, look at your dark circles. Are you tired from taking care of Leo? Why don't you send Leo Hayes back? I'll be a good mom to him. While he's still little, he won't even know who his real mom is, will he? Her laughter was loud, drawing glances from those around us. I didn't want to waste my breath on her. Chloe Miller, if you can't have children, try harder. Keep your old man to yourself. Chloe Miller saw Ethan Taylor staring intently at me and sharply pinched him. Ethan Taylor snapped back to attention from the sting. Audrey Hayes, there's an empty seat right next to me. I smiled politely. No, thank you. My seat is in the front row. Chloe Miller's face turned red. Why? Anger. She wanted to step forward but was forcefully pulled back to her seat by Ethan Taylor. Sit down. Don't embarrass me. After the auction began, Chloe Miller drove up the price of the painting I wanted. She kept bidding, ignoring Ethan Taylor's attempts to stop her. Finally, she won the bid for $16 million. She cheered happily to the whole room. Ethan Taylor, however, looked worried. What Chloe Miller didn't know was that I simply wanted that painting, and after I raised the bid once, she became frantic, determined to get it at any cost. My real target was the second item for auction. Ethan Taylor snatched the bidding paddle to stop Chloe Miller. I successfully completed my task as planned. However, Ethan Taylor missed the item for auction. When the auction ended, Chloe Miller, however, had a big argument with Ethan Taylor. Ethan Taylor, don't forget who saved your gallery. If you keep me happy, you're keeping Grandpa happy. Don't be so ungrateful. Why didn't you bid on Audrey Hayes' painting? Are you still hoping to rekindle your old flame with her? Ethan Taylor stopped holding back. Chloe Miller, do you realize this money isn't for you to play the hero? Can you stop acting like a spoiled princess? Ethan Taylor had never expected Chloe Miller's mood to change so drastically after the engagement. She constantly bossed him around. She said she wanted a baby and needed to focus on getting pregnant, so she couldn't paint anymore. Anything she set her eyes on, Ethan Taylor had to buy for her. Ethan Taylor finally reaped what he sowed. The moment I walked past, he grabbed me. Audrey Hayes, I want to talk to you. I tried to break free from his grasp, but due to the disparity in strength, he held me tightly. Ethan Taylor, we have nothing to talk about. Ethan Taylor pulled me into a corner, his eyes full of love. Audrey, I'm not married yet. We can start over, can't we? Come back, please? I was wrong. I'll help you through your DEP. Russian. Chloe Miller saw this and rushed forward, slapping me. Audrey Hayes, don't be so shameless trying to seduce a married man. Ethan Taylor is mine. Chloe Miller was seething with rage and took it all out on me. The moment she raised her hand to strike again, I grabbed her wrist and struck back hard. I slapped her too, sending her sprawling to the ground. She struggled to get up, tugging at Ethan Taylor's pant leg. Ethan, this crazy woman hit me. Ethan Taylor didn't spare her a glance. He stepped forward with concern, asking if I was hurt. Audrey, are you all right? If hitting Chloe Miller makes you feel better, then hit her. I won't stop you. Hearing this, Chloe Miller finally lowered her posture. She knew that being weak and vulnerable was the way Ethan Taylor preferred her. She cried profusely. Ethan, I was wrong. Please forgive me. Please don't leave me. Facing the woman's pleas at his feet, Ethan Taylor didn't even look down. He was only desperate for my answer. His actions made me laugh in anger. Ethan Taylor, we're already divorced. I won't repeat the same mistake. As I was about to step down the stairs, Ethan Taylor tried to hold me back again. But a man stood in front of him. Mr. Taylor, Professor Hayes has already said she's not coming back. There's no point in dragging this out. The man was Liam Stone, an art academy teacher. I hadn't had much interaction with him before, but at that moment, he appeared before me like a savior. Ethan Taylor clenched his fist, and the next second, it landed on Liam Stone. The two men wrestled. I had no chance to get close. Chloe Miller shouted from the side. By the time the security guards arrived, Ethan Taylor was already bruised and swollen. Ethan Taylor shouted accusations, claiming I was flirting with other men. I stepped forward and slapped him hard. The sound echoed throughout the entire hall. Ethan Taylor, you're the one who cheated, not me. Don't think I'm as despicable as you. Listen carefully, I'm telling you this for the last time. I don't love you anymore. Now and always. Please don't bother me again. Ethan Taylor was stunned. He thought my sudden departure was merely out of anger. He believed I would change my mind and return to him eventually, because he had seen how much I loved him. Subconsciously, he thought I couldn't leave him and never would. But I no longer loved him. He should have realized that when I rushed forward to check Liam Stone's injuries. Liam Stone protected me as I left. No matter how I thanked him, he simply said it was nothing. We took the same flight back home. 3 months later, Ethan Taylor and Chloe Miller broke up. The painting Chloe Miller had bought had already drained all of Ethan Taylor's money. Chloe Miller had lied to him. Professor Harrison couldn't save his gallery. In the end, they parted on bad terms. Chloe Miller also injured her hand from cutting her wrist to force Ethan Taylor to come back to her. The prodigy artist subsequently declined. A year later, during Thanksgiving, Liam Stone, holding his child and walking with me by Lakeview Park, ran into Ethan Taylor. Leo Hayes giggled, pinching Liam Stone's cheek and calling him dad. Ethan Taylor's hand, which had been sketching lotus flowers, froze. He wanted to stand up to approach us, but he stopped. I didn't stop, pulling the father and son along as we walked further away. Watching the moonlight slowly fall onto the lake, my smile grew even more deeply. Because that was a new beginning. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.